Okay, so this is all I was trying to do is what the producer said you would do is just be a regular guy. So I made a post, just my old regular guy dog self, and the producer rejected it. He said this is not for publication. He looked like Margaret Thatcher with her red pen crossing out a bunch of notes on a speech she had to give about apartheid. Whatever. Search your own dog remembrance if you have to. This producer, I think he's getting big for his britches. He rolled up a newspaper and smacked me. I said, what are you, crazy? The producer, he's starting some kind of a weird occult based in the ballroom of the manor house. He's got this setup like it looks like a cathedral from like the whatever days, I don't know what it would be, not Byzantine, whatever. Maybe they would be from the Baroque period or whatever, big giant cathedrals. Well, the manor house, we have a secret ballroom. You know, it's not like Mrs. Astor's ballroom, you could hold 1,200 people. One time we crammed 400 people, and this is Western Kentucky. You could fill a ballroom with 400 people like in 6 hours. It's a big place that was successful, had a lot of money from a lot of different things. Coal mining, number one. I don't know about Western Kentucky. Maybe it was gas wells, or maybe they just went and invested in the southeastern part of the state and stole all the money out of the ground. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but these people around here got money. So you want to throw a ballroom party. Back in the day, it was nothing to have, 250, 300 people smashed in this ballroom. But the man, he can't afford it. It sucks up too much carbon footprint. He can't afford to keep it heated, so he shuts it down. The producer, this numbnut, believe me, he was down there with the Aboriginals. Don't even get me started. Remember, the producer disappeared. We never found the writer girl. They say they come across her etchings in the Grand Canyon. I don't even want to speak about it. She's down there with all the other ghosts, maybe. I don't know. It's a bad thing to say. Don't even. But listen. So the producer whipped me with a newspaper. I said, what the F? You know what I'm saying? I said, what, are you crazy? I followed him through the big parlor room into the great room, and then I seen he had busted into the ballroom. The ballroom was boarded up because we can't afford to keep it heated. Well, anyways, I followed him in there. He says, this is what I want you to do, dog. That Regz post was for shit. I said, what are you crazy? I mean, it was just from the heart. He said, listen, I'm done with that kind of bullshit. He hands me a piece of paper. He said he smacks me upside the head again with a freaking rolled up newspaper. He gets a wiffle ball bat. I wouldn't have killed you or nothing, but he's like, I will whip your ass. He got that wiffle ball bat. He was waving up and down like he was giving a wrist action, like he was trying to jack off or something. He's getting ready to pummel me. All right, so anyways, he hands me this piece of paper. So this is a red take. Believe me, takes ain't supposed to be read. If you go back and search, AI could do a study on it. Our takes, they're spur of the moment, unrehearsed, unwritten. Stream of consciousness. Anybody could figure that much out if you just listen to three of them. So I get this is not a cold take. This is not bullet points. This is a red script without rehearsal. It's so horrifying. First off, it's up on the title. Like the title of this thing is Sparkling Water. So the producer's so happy he's drinking sparkling water. He's staggering around the ballroom, spilling his sparkling water all over the ballroom. I said, Bud, we kept this ballroom closed up because we can't afford to keep it up. I'm going to have to get the carpet clean again. They have a couple high school proms in here every year. We got to invest a little money to keep this thing up that far. We turn a nice little pretty penny on the high school proms. You're spilling your sparkling water. The producer didn't want to hear it. I was like, you know what? Anyways, the man, contrary to the producer, I think the producer was a drunk, just like the man. But now he's on sparkling water, so he thinks he's going to live forever, whatever. I went to the man, just as an aside, this is an aside thing. I went to the man and said, the producer won't make this post. He says it's not for publication. The man, I roused him up. I almost had to piss on him to get him awake, you know what I'm saying? I bit him right in his patella, right on his kneecap, right in the patella. I think that's what you call that bone there, patella. I bit it. I shook it a little bit. He didn't wake up. I shook it so hard he woke up. He said, what the fuck? I was like, don't swear, man. We're not swearing anymore, remember? He said, what do you want from me? And then I took him and he made that post for me because I can operate apparatus, but I don't know how to make a post. That's why you have to have a producer. But this producer, he's staggering around like a moron, spilling his sparkling water all over the floor. Like we got a maid to go pay to clean that shit up. I think he might be on drugs. And I don't mean like the marijuana drugs. I'm talking about some kind of a pill or a snorted or injectables. This boy might be on injectables. But I don't even know what this says. See, that's the problem with a written thing. There's no cue card guy that could shake his hand or, say, motion to you, help you out, sound it out, read the syllables. It's not like Broadway stage where they got a trap door and they got a guy right there who could feed you the line. The producer wants to manipulate the little people. Oh, the producer didn't write that one. I scrawled that one in. That's why it's so hard to write. I mean, I can't write. But that's the problem. See, the producer, he wants to manipulate the little people. Okay? He's trying to prop up the Regz dudes, like it's good they're nobodies. It's good they're just regular guys that are funny. He's trying to say they're everyday men. But now the producer, he just wants to be the puppeteer of the everyday man. He's trying to do more than just glob on and, whatever you say, get a little something, get a few views off the talking about the Regz. He's wanting somehow, I don't even know, it's like a spider or some kind of a thing that catches you and sucks all your blood out of you. He's trying to, dominate. He's trying to manipulate. He's trying to manipulate the whole populace, not just the Regz. He doesn't even know the Regz from Adam. He's trying to manipulate the whole populace through the Regz. But he's saying he's a screen saying the Regz, they're just regular guys, regular Joes. So you had to delete that first post. You couldn't let that first post go on. Minute 35 of pure gold. You couldn't let it go. Whatever. Anyways, I looked at the man. I'm just a stupid dog. I mean, not the man, the producer. The man made the post, the Regz post. That's what I was getting confused. But the producer's the one who handed me this script, this cold script that I had to read verbatim. He says, okay, again, this is my own thing. I'm saying the producer's trying to manipulate everybody, and he wants to become, I don't even know what, like a Donald Trump-esque figure who can manipulate everything and have it his own way. But I looked at him, I was like, wait a second. So I'm lost because you're saying that they are somebodies, but you're trying to sell them as nobodies. And the producer looked like, I never said that. I said, I know, I could read your mind. I could go right back in dog remembrance and figure it out from there. I could reverse engineer and figure it out. Go a month away back into dog remembrance, come back and reverse engineer and know exactly what you're trying to do. And the producer had a gaping, and I said, yeah, asshole. So you've got Gomez, you got Bobby Kelly, Baldy, you got Don Soderman, whatever his name is, and you got Joe List with the lisp. I don't know if that's true, but it's an elbow. Joe List with the lisp. You got Baldy and the lisp, whatever. Okay? But you could just as well, and I'm a stupid dog. I'm searching my doc remembers right now. It's like I'm an AI functioning creature. Look, yeah, you could go with not James Carvell. You can't go with James Carvell. That's a known entity. No. I don't know. Big guy. The first one you would say is just big guy. Okay? So Gomez could be big guy. Bobby Kelly, he could be Matt Zekas. Dan Solder, he could be Jim Dexter. And Joe List, he could be Wayne Fountain, the guy who does tattoos on his porch that he closed in. That would be wonderful. So you could substitute Matt Zekas, Jim Dexter, Jim James, Jim Carlisle, whatever. Wayne Fountain, the tattooist from Highland Lake, New York. You got to stay away from him. He rode a chopper in everywhere he went. At the night. He rode in the night with no lights on a chopper. But the producer, again, this is coming to a quick, swift conclusion because the other thing the producer said, you had to ramble on. You had to make a long one because he thinks you get more money from YouTube that way. You get some watchtowers up. And by the way, could we ever make 2 cents? Hey, I want to say this as an aside, as a dog, I'm going to step out of character. 226 adherents. Please don't quit us adherents. Even if you hear something bad, leave a comment in the comment section. You could kind of whatever you say. You have a lot of clout. The first, whatever's had the most clout. Now the first 226, you don't have to leave. You don't have to go. If we say something ass backwards wrong that you hate, go, holy shit, I'm going to desubscribe. Don't desubscribe. Just wait a while. You'll see. We'll come back around the other way. It's a good thing. This is an aside. This is a commercial, whatever. But the producer, again, I think he's stepping on my toes, on my paws, whatever. And I think he needs to, what I'm saying, I want to take one of my milk bones and shove it down his esophagus and close that flap and choke him out. He's a pain in my ass. The producer says, you have to talk about these guys, what they're really all about, and what they think, and what's really important to them, and then how they interact with each other. And I was like disagreeing. I was like, listen, I was sleeping. There was two kids walking down the street, two idiot kids. They looked like they were troglodytic cousins, maybe inbred cousins. They each had a balloon. You know what I'm saying? The balloon, I didn't want to get into it. This balloon was a weird balloon, believe me. And I was afraid they're going to pop it and we'd see a bunch of spiders crawling out. These kids were arguing, bickering, fighting, going on and on and on and on. I was like, God bless, they got this. They got it down pat. They give a few zingers. They're all rote. They're all pat. They have all rehearsed them. These kids, they hate each other. They're at each other's throats every day. It's like one eagle getting ready to kill the other eagle in the nest. Little baby eagle chicklets. One born 3 days ahead of time is choking out and killing and mowing and torching the other one to the other one's finally like, throw me the fuck over the edge. I can't take it anymore, Throw me off the fucking nest already. Let me smash to death on the rocks below. God almighty. That's the kind of thing. These two kids, they were at each other's throats. It's like how these fucking, excuse the language, you're not supposed to swear anymore. It's like these guys, the Regz guys, they're at each other. Fuck you, this one. Fuck you, that one. Your baby picture looks shitty. You're an asshole. I screwed your mom. Whatever. These guys are lowbrow. And they're always at each other like a pack of wolves, starving pack of rats. You're going to try to figure out who the rat king is. These boys are like rat kings on steroids, fighting rat kings and pit bulls and cobras. It sucks. It's not only is it boring, it sucks. It brings you down. That's not what the producer. That's the dog. I shouldn't have said that. The dog said that. The producer said, but it all comes down to this. They all just want to make a little remula oblongata. They want to make a few ruples. They want to make a few shekels. The producer was spilling his sparkling water all over the floor. It's like, buddy, let me get under there. I'll take a bath, Are you going to drink any of it or are you just going to throw it all over the carpet? This is a high-dollar carpet. We have a prom coming in here like 2 months. We got to freshen this place up. There's going to have some mold in the carpet, buddy. But what the producer, he went on, right in the midst of it, he was like, they all just want to make a little bit of money, a few shekels, denarii, whatever you call them, 2 palms worth of this, that, or the other thing, 2 talents of silver. They just want to make some money off their talent. I looked at the producer. I was like, I understand now. You're saying these, the first take, I was like, I never heard of these guys, so what am I supposed to think? And the producer, he says, what you got to understand is that they were all come together. They formed this thing that just sold. It took off like a rocket. Everybody wanted a piece of it. They were it. They had it. Just getting together. Now they're getting at it. It's like phase 2. They're getting together. Take 2. They're all old and disgusting. They're slower. They don't have that much in the ball, but it's still so wonderful. I looked at the producer. I said, so wonderful. Like 2-year-old kids fighting in a mosh pit. What are you, stupid? But the man, he looked at me and said, you got a point, because what it was, and the producer this was an aside of the producer. The producer said, these boys, they wanted to monetize. Now they're monetized. Now they want to make more monetization. They want to get a little bit more money for themselves. But the problem they all have is that this underlying angst, this thing, they all believe that Bobby Kelly rooked them. They think the first time Bobby Kelly kept all the profits, Robbie Kelly got it. they're afraid to dive in with them the second time fully, so that's why the humor's not quite as good as it should be, if they were really letting loose and cutting loose, but they're all in it for the money and they're afraid Bobby Kelly's going to screw them over again, so it's not really, it's flat, it's like they're playing musical instruments in a pool of water. But, and that was the producer, and this is the dog. The producer went on to say, the reason it's successful is they're all just friends hanging out. And that's what you got to understand, dog. These boys, they're just cool dudes, funny people. They're just together. They're hanging out. And we get to peer like a fly on the wall voyeuristically. And the trans thing is, if these boys can leave completely the fact that they're in the studio, and that's why they look at themselves so hard. Like Gomez is always staring everybody down. It's like going to be, try to shoot a laser beam through their skull with his eye beams, whatever. Lewis, take them beady black eyes and tone them down. Wear some glasses so we don't see you stun your opponent like a cobra ready to strike. And I looked at the producer, I was like, yeah, you got a point, yeah. But what the canudant ever, The point I made the first time around was just as good. It was 1 minute 35. This is going to be like 15, 18 minutes. Who the Basandio is going to listen to this bull crap? What are you, stupid? Are you crazy? No one, listen, this is going to be a 5-view take. And the producer said, I'll see about that. Don't you worry. I looked at him. I said, don't you worry, asshole. He looked at me and said, I didn't think we were swearing anymore. I said, yeah, but I'm on. Say, fuck on there.